in Florence in 2013. 4 days in Florence of syncretism. They loved it. So Tuscany is a beautiful place. Soul, bowl. Remember, that's the soul and the spirit. This is the body. Soul. There's no mistake why the sun and your soul have the same pronunciation. Soul and soul. Because it all comes from this. Whole. So whole is holy. Like the gods of Olympus. The gods of Olympus. Holy. Jupiter. All those holy gods, right? So whole, it's also a wormhole. These are wormholes. So the sun, it must be a hole. People look at the sun, they see something round and they think, oh, that's got to be a sphere. It has to be a ball. Ball. By the way, that's also the word ball because these are balls. They're spherical. But does that mean that the moon and the sun are actually physical objects that are spheres? No, it doesn't. They are holes. They are holes, empty holes. Check out the work of Eric Dollard, one of the greatest scientists on YouTube who ever lived, who talks about the sun being an empty hole. It's just the only arcing that goes on in the sun is on the surface. The new moon. Have you ever seen a new moon? And then you see this black, you see this disc, this ring, and then you see the moon going like this. You're looking at a hole. It's totally holy. Holy hole. So when your heart radiates healthily, it becomes whole. It's not a hole. You see people who don't radiate. You've met them. Certainly no one in here because I can feel everyone's goodness. This is goodness from the heart radiating. But there are people who that energy is going into, they're sucking energy in. They're not giving it back out. They're not. That's what they call soulless people with holes. See, what happens is if you don't protect your aura and you don't do good works with integrity, what happens is that entities come in and attach themselves to your aura and they find holes and they find their way in and they corrupt the file. This is the file, this is the RAM, and this is the screen of the computer. So this is the file. You don't want to... What happens if you get a virus? When you get a new computer, it runs beautifully, very fast, right? And then you start going on, you start browsing certain sites or whatever, and Trojan jumps on your computer, and all of a sudden, my computer's slowing down. I've got to go and get it cleaned up. Because why? It's corrupted. That's the same with your soul and your spirit. And when you come into body, if you misuse your body and use it for bad purposes like drunkenness, stealing, cheating, lying, pornography, all kinds of abuses, anger, this will also, in the transcendental realm, will also get corrupted. And that's when you see people who look sickly, who don't radiate, there's no glow in their eyes. You can see a dim greyness, something's wrong. And then when you see people get old and all sort of, they're walking like this, it's fair enough, we're all going to... Why? Well, it's because this has been attacked. See? There's ways to keep this alive and charged forever. You don't have to die. Death's not part of the whole scheme of things. It's only a temporal thing. And that's because it's corrupted, like the fire. If you can keep viruses away from your computer, you will always have your files in your hard drive clean. They'll always be there. You can go travelling for a year, come back home, reboot your computer, bang, there's your files. You open them up, oh yeah, it's still there. Great. I'm going to improve those today. And that's the same with your soul. When you go back to unconditioned cause, away from this body, you really want to have gold. Remember that little golden egg? We started out as a golden egg. You want to keep that gold pure. And you will. Because you need that currency. Otherwise you will not ascend. By good deeds, good works, keep that strong. Keep that heartbeat strong, clean. And your mind, there's the head, and your liver over here. Emotion waves and thought waves. That's these kind of waves. See people who've got busy minds. And you see them walking down the street and they're talking to themselves like they're crazy. Yeah, that's because they've got demons or egregores which they have created. Thought waves, emotion waves. If you have some emotional problem from 3 years ago and you keep thinking, oh gee, my brother, he stole my money, and you keep thinking and thinking, it's going to grow and grow and grow to become its own autonomous entity called a demon. You grow your own demons. You have to stop those thoughts. You have to, he hurt me, that's cool. I'm moving on. Okay? So you move on. Otherwise they will attach themselves to you and they will become entities that will hound you for the rest of eternity. To shed those entities, clean this field and become whole and holy. The scriptures teach you how to be holy. Say, drunkards will not inherit God's kingdom. People who practice pornography and loose conduct will not inherit God's kingdom, etc. It's not. Is that because God is evil, He's going to judge you? No, there's no God that's going to judge you, it's you. If you rock up at the cinemas with $2 and you say, I want to see the Joker, thank you, and the guy there says, no, it's $10. What? Are you, what's the word, discriminating because I'm yellow or because I'm black? No, it's got nothing to do with the colour, but you don't have the money. You can't say, oh, because I'm gay? No, there's no discrimination. You've judged yourself. You haven't got enough currency. So you have to go back, do some work, earn some more money, $10, thank you, I want to see the Joker. Oh, great, I'm going. Doesn't matter whether you're gay, black, white, tall, fat, short. There's no judgment. God doesn't judge you, you judge yourself. If you don't have the goods, the money to pay the ferryman to cross the river Styx, that's the river. Here's your body. You've got to get back home, uncorrupted. And you've got to have the currency. You can't go with $2. Remember, there's a lady whose shawl that glitters is gold, and she's buying. Stairway to Heaven. Revelation, Jesus says, buy gold off me, so you may be saved. Buy white garments, so no one sees your shameful nakedness. Buy salve for your eyes, so you can open them and see. It's up to you. Your choice, monster or master. We're all stars. We're all going back to the true star. Remember, star is where you start your journey. Everything starts from the stars and finishes in black light, because black is where you go back